I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is the
Family Showdown!
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
Now I know my ABCs. Won't you pick board games with me? Yay! Let's do some board gaming. So, good evening. Welcome to Top 26.
A lot more than that.
Part 1.
Part 1.
We're
27.
Oh yeah, with the numbers. My bad.
All right.
So, we're going to talk about some board games and how much we like them and in alphabetical order. You ready for this? I see some of you in the chat already. Been making your lists.
Checking them twice.
Greatness. That's right. Check them twice.
All right, folks.
You're all naughty though. We know.
We didn't have time to put pictures in, so we're going to show you the real live games. And we own all of them but one.
Two. I have one. Well,
I had a picture.
I have one.
I would have put a picture for yours, but I know you had one. Anyway.
It's good. I have a backup plan in my backup.
All right, so the way it's going to work is Rebecca's going to start us off. We're going to go through these. She has an alternate pick for all her games.
I did. Okay, first of all, I want to discuss how we made these lists. Because...
See, I took the cheap way out. I just picked my favorite one for each letter.
Haha! I threw a wrench in everyone's plans. You're like, oh, I know what Rebecca's will be too. I figured that'd be too bless you, Smokey? Okay. He's very loud. Very sneezy. Okay. That was out of nowhere. But I figured if you could just pick it off my list, I thought that was too easy. So what I did is...
Some of them are already in my top 100.
Well,
so.
some of them will be in my top 100, I'm sure. Or they haven't been made it yet. Or I just really like these a lot. They haven't gotten enough love. I really want to play them right now, like a little combination of things, which is why I also have my backup for conversational purposes. So yeah, I gamed the system, so to speak, because I wanted to add lots of fuel to your fire, give you some games to try out, to discuss all the things.
So you're going to get like...
So they may or may not be on my list.
Haha. You're like 40 games. It's going to be exciting.
Like...
14 times 3 is 42. I assume we have a couple crossovers.
Answer to life, the universe, and everything.
All right, let's do it. We don't have cool little intros, but I do have little like...
Troll! My list is not null and void. My list is the best.
All right, I did put a little symbol, like a little thing.
Did you? You put a little symbol? Aww.
See?
I like that. That's pretty smooth. Okay, so we're talking about number games. So this is one that starts with a number. And mine, I had to give it some love because, quite frankly, we haven't played it in a while. I played it with I taught my students a while back, and I didn't get to play with them. But this is one of the classics, as it were. 7 Wonders. This game is better with more players, I feel like, because it's got the neighbor thing. So whatever resources you and your neighbors have, you can pay them a little bit of money, or sometimes you can use it for free, depending on what's going on and stuff. But you get to use their resources to build your own things as well. So, and you get bonus points and all sorts of things based off of what your neighbors have or don't have. Plus there's, armies, and if you match up against the army, so you have like a battle every round, and whoever gets the best of that gets victory points. This is just a really cool, smooth game, and it has stood the test of time, quite frankly. What year did this come out? This is still
11, maybe?
2010, 2011, it says. Yeah. And it's still really fun to play, easy to pick
this
up.
over Duel?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think
Duel
so.
better, I think.
Well, if we're just doing 2-player, obviously I'm going to pick Duel.
Well,
obviously.
Well, yeah, the
without
2-player variant.
Because I don't like the 2-player variant. Bleh. But for whatever reason with this game, I have the more the merrier feel. I really enjoyed the neighbor stuff. And you don't really get that with Duel. It's not quite the same. And that's the aspect of this game that I like the best. So 7 Wonders is my game. I don't really have a backup for it because...
Hey, you're supposed to go to me.
Oh, okay.
You, me, you.
Okay, fine.
Were you not listening?
Okay, never.
To the intro where I'm explaining things? Well, the chap already got mine.
Oh, did they?
It's 18-something.
18-something?
And it's 18 cheesecake. 18 cheesecake.
Cheesecake!
So this is by far my favorite 18xx game. Until recently, it was what I would say would be the intro 18xx. I think 18 Mississippi, 18 MS has replaced that. But this is my favorite. It plays fairly quickly. For an 18xx game, it's about 3 hours, which is pretty fast. It plays well from 2. I've played it at 2 all the way up to 6, and it's played well with all. Of course, the more players you get, obviously, the longer the game is. But I love it. It's my favorite. So if you want to try an 18xx, this is a good one. I would say in Mississippi, though, over this one for your first one. And then once you play Mississippi, you can play this one because it's better.
Sure. Ooh,
8.
Wow. Interesting.
All right.
That's actually my backup. My honorable mention, as it were, 18 Cheesecake. Because it's probably my favorite railroad game, too. I haven't played the cool one that you're talking about and raving and loving so much yet, so...
Mississippi?
Yep. I have not played that yet.
Mississippi.
But that one, very good. Very good.
All right. Let's move on to this one.
I have to sing the song again. A! A is for Alchemist. You know what? We can do a children's book.
A is for Alchemist.
A is for Alchemists. Yeah, okay. So, this is my first pick. Alchemists is one of my new faves. I have been in the mood for some of these little logic puzzle-y bits, and this one thematically is so much fun. You have your puzzle, and it's all about making the right potions. And so you have to figure out which ingredients make which potions to sell to the right person and whatnot. And I love the way this game works. Like, you're making them, and then you have to test them out to see if they're right. So you can try them out on yourself, but you don't want to hurt yourself. So you might just pay an intern, have them try it out, see how it works for them. Hilarious. I think that's hilarious. I love the theme with this, and the logic puzzle, and getting all the weird rando ingredients. And I really like the little, because you have your own personal puzzle board to kind of fill in with all your information. And I just like the little gridded system and messing with that. Super fun game. Yes, it's app assisted. You don't have to do that, but it saves you a whole lot of extra work. And
it takes a person setting out and
being
a moderator.
Because some person would have to sit out and be a moderator. Although honestly, that's kind of fun. I almost wouldn't mind that just because I like that. But I do like figuring out the puzzle. So yeah, I like the app assisted idea best.
Because I don't think I could be the moderator, because every time someone did something, I'd be like,
oh yeah, mm-hmm.
All right,
that's good. So, Alchemists.
Give me a moment. I have to put on my weightlifting belt.
Yep. Make sure you use your legs, not your back.
Oh my gosh.
We'll have to call in help. And we lost Hunter. He's dead now. This is the size of a small child. Maybe not so small child. I think Nessa could fit in this.
I think she probably could curl up in this thing. Anachrony! The way too much box. Anachrony. It's a super heavy worker placement game in space.
Literally and figuratively.
Awesome. One of my favorite worker placement games. Maybe my favorite worker placement game. Nah, probably
close.
No, the next letter is probably my favorite worker placement game.
Fair.
So, Anachrony. It's a good one. You don't need all this nonsense. You don't need all this. You need the base game, and that's about it. And
yeah, I mean, really and truly, but the little mechs are so much fun. Come on.
Nah.
What? Okay, they have a lot. I don't know if they have this much. Nah. This is ridiculous. This takes up a Kallax.
You know, it's the boxes are getting insane these days, but it is a good storage solution for
if you want all the things.
It doesn't quite close when it's sitting sideways.
When it sits sideways. The weight, its own weight holds it shut.
All right, I'm going to put this away before I kill myself.
Nice knowing you. You know what? You're right, Zeros. It is an infinity box. You should be able to store anything and everything. I'm pretty sure we can put our house in that.
All right, what's your alternate?
My alternate is also very puzzly, and that would be awkward guests. Like I said, I have been on a puzzle binginess, and this is Gamer's Clue. This is like how I always wanted the game of Clue to be. You've got multiple rooms, it's not just about who did what where, but you also have their motivations and how they got there and all this stuff. And you are the investigator and you're getting several different pieces of information of varying, shall we say, reliability. So I might have, well, the maid heard this rumor that blah, 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 or, you know, the toxicology results came in and it's X, Y, and Z kind of thing. You get some different things.
It was Z?
It was Z Garcia. Track him down. But what's great is, like, Hunter can decide to give me 5 points worth of information, but he could give me 5 one-pointers, which are just trash. It's like the rumors and hearsay and stuff. Or he could give me a really good card, just like 3 points, which is like the toxicology report, really reliable information, and then a 2-pointer that's really, odds are he's not going to do that. But he could, and then I have to give him the same amount of points information in kind. So I could pay back his good cards with crappy ones or vice versa. I mean, it's really fun. I really like the back and forth of this game. This is another one of those, the more the merrier playing. It wasn't too bad 2-player, but it didn't have the, I don't know, it just didn't have the energy of the other ones. It was a lot easier to keep track of what cards and controlling the cards that I send to you. If you have a lot of different people and you're trading cards back and forth, it's really hard to keep. I like that challenge of trying to keep track of who you sent what, to try to limit the information that you're giving out. So it's a really, really fun game. So if you like those kinds of mystery games, this one's a winner.
It's okay.
Hey, shush you.
Let's move on to B. That's you.
B. B is for Beyond the Sun. What? Yes, I'm continuing with this.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I'll start my own board game podcast read along. So Beyond the Sun, this is space, the spreadsheet. You have board with game and planets and things on one spot. But the heart of the game is all about this tech tree and kind of racing through the tech tree to get the most advanced stuff. And so you can kind of see it on the back here. It's not super thrilling to look at, but gosh darn it, it is really, really fun to play. It's kind of puzzly too in a way, because you want to go through and find the best streamlined route for you to advance through the tech tree to your benefit. It's kind of an efficiency puzzle. And it's in space, which makes it even more fun. So, this one, if I remember right, how long does this play? This one it's on the front. Oh, 100 minutes. Okay, so it's just over that hour-and-a-half mark. Not too shabby. Really like this one.
It's all right.
Boo. So you have something better, I presume?
Yes, I have Brass Birmingham.
No, not better.
Brass Birmingham.
Brass Birmingham.
Yeah, this is a good one. This one, after playing it many, many times, I found that I prefer to play people that are not as good as I am.
There's so many things I can say right now. Gee, I wonder why that is.
No, because I played Brass.
You mean you're talking about mean players?
Yeah.
You're not talking about
this
better.
This
You're
game
talking
can be
about mean.
brutally mean, and
you're just talking about.
I don't play that way.
You don't want to play with mean players, is what you're saying. Because I could be better than you.
Yeah.
It's not true, but I could be.
So Brass, it's a heavy Euro game, route building kind of.
Yes. Well, yeah, because you got
engine building kind of.
Yeah.
Resource management kind of. It's got its
All
own
the things.
animal. It's kind of its own animal. It's got
Rivers.
pick up deliver ish. I mean, it's really weird how they take a lot of the mechanisms and kind of tweak them a little bit and make them a little weird. Because this pick up deliver, it's not really pick up deliver, but when you build buildings, you have to have the resources, access to the resources, so they kind of get delivered to you when you build stuff.
Yeah, it's funky.
It's really weird, but it's a good game. It's a super mega popular. It's in the top 5. I don't know where it is landing these days. 4, 5, 3, something like that.
Oh wow,
I don't know
super
where it
high
is.
up.
Anyway, it's a good one. This is the Roxley. You could probably throw Brass, the regular Brass, in here as well, in the same kind of spot.
Right.
But this has got 2 Bs, so it's a double whammy.
My backup, I have 2. One, because I didn't have the game But of course, Bob Ross, The Art of Chill.
Oh my gosh.
What? That game is hilarious. I love that game. It does not get enough love. But for a game that's physically present, our new hit, Beer and Bread. This one is an awesome go-to two-player game. Where's the... I should have looked at this. 30 to 45 minutes. So it zips along. It's a nice zippy little game. But it has quite a bit of, forgive the pun, but meat to it, considering it's beer and bread. I mean, it sounds like carbolicious and all, but a lot of meat to this little go-to two-player game. I really enjoy all of the choices and the resource management and the way that your ability... If I remember, the abilities kind of stack, right? Don't you have...
Yeah. There's like 6 different kinds of cards, and, and you can play them down to your tableau, and it gives you a superpower.
And
there's 6 different kinds of... Some are in-game scoring, some are every round, some are one-shots.
Yeah.
Different things.
I mean, a lot. Again, big bang for a little box. I really, really like it.
A lot of people are liking your Bob Ross.
Heck yeah, Bob Ross is awesome, Mr. Poo Poo.
Yeah.
That one's fun. It is kind of chill. You get your paintbrushes and you have the little easel and you want to try to finish the painting before Bob Ross does, because if you watch the show, he cracks out a painting in a half an hour. That's insane. So you want to get that done before he does, or you have to move on to the next one. It's so much fun. Yes.
All right. Let's move on to C is this button. C. C is for a slight weightlifting project. Not nearly anymore. It's sad to say this isn't that big of a box. It's pretty
big. But it's Castles. C is for Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Collector's edition.
Yeah, baby. Woo, this is so pretty. Do you know what's cool about this one? Swans. 3 billion swans are in this box of all different shades and colors you could possibly imagine. You do not need this insanity, but it is fun to play this insanity. Castles of Mad King Ludwig is one of my fave for tile placement because all of the rooms have these unique shapes and abilities. So you might have like music rooms, but music rooms don't give you good bonus points. They might even have negative points if they're next to a sleeping room for obvious reasons. So you're placing them in different places, but you want to close up as many doors as possible because when you close off rooms, you get like some cool bonuses and stuff. You get like a mad amount of money, or you get to get an extra tile. There's all these different things. They feel game breaking when you get them. It's really fun. There's a bidding system. You have to bid on the rooms, and there's kind of a mental psych you out thing. Each person takes turn being the bid setter. So I would set all the tiles out for that round, and I get to decide which one's the cheapest and the most expensive. And I might want to play a mind game because I'm like, I know Hunter wants another music room. He's trying to collect them. Do I make that too expensive for him to get? Or since I get the money if people pay for it that round, do I want to make it just within range and so it cleans them out and I get a lot of money? You know, there's like, or will he go for it? No, he doesn't. He decides to buy a hallway instead because he won't give me a dime. But, you know, it's just, I love it. In the end, you have this really unique, weird, twisty, curvy, crazy castle. And this has expansions and swans, lots of swans, all sorts of craziness. Changes the game up, adds a lot of meat to it if you like to play it a lot. Super fun game. Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't.
Because I got big shoulders, baby.
Husky and brawling.
City of the big shoulders. So I mentioned the way back time of Anachrony, I kind of said it was not my favorite, but almost my favorite worker placement game. This is my favorite worker placement game. City of the big shoulders. So this is basically an 18XX style game, but you take the trains out. So you take the trains and the tracks out, but you still have the way the businesses work and the kind of the order of things, and the fact that you have your own money and the company has its own money, and you win by having the most money. Not necessarily the money in your company, because that doesn't help you. You have to get that money. Your company has to make money, and then you have to get that money into your personal money to be able to win. Worker placement game, kind of meanish, but 18XX games are kind of meanish, so this one can be that way. There's kind of a supply and demand situation, and a turn order is crazy important in this game. It's a longer game. This one's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's a doozy.
This is 18XX style game. It's long.
Even without the trains.
But I love this game. It's super fun. I haven't played it in a little bit. Probably should play it again soon. But it's one of my favorites. It's into my top 5.
I'm still saying we need to take like a month off and just marathon. Whole month.
Yeah. Who's gonna pay the bills for that month?
And the kids.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm putting mine on that. All right, what's your alternate C?
My backup plan. You guys are all mentioning so many good ones. Like you said, C is just a really good letter for all of these. I am a huge fan of the Century games. This is the first one. Again, these are my go-to. Like, you want to play a game that's just geniusly smooth is Century Spice Road, because you can play this by itself. You can play it with Century New World and Century, call them Century, I don't remember the other one, Eastern
Wonders.
Eastern Wonders. Okay, yeah. Eastern Wonders. You can play them in any sort of combination you could possibly think of, and it's a different game. It tweaks it. So good. I mean, if I had my way, I would just play all of them together.
Yep.
It's just...
It takes a little bit longer to piece it together and figure it out. And it plays a little bit longer, but it's worth it because you get to do all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Because it's like, you start with this, and this one's like, you have the cups, and you try to get the cooler cups, and you get to the stuff, and get the little cubes out of all the cups, and you're trading them in and out and making this really cool engine. Well, the next game adds stuff to it, and now you're on boats, and you're doing, it's just, there's maps, and all sorts of cool things add up to this. Very, very fun game. I love the Century games. Can't recommend it enough. And I think this one, if you want just to start this one out, 30 to 45 minutes. That's it.
There's not much game there.
To start. No, this would be a good welcoming game, and also you play with some good players. You have to be pretty efficient.
Kind of a race-ish.
It is a race. It's awesome.
All right, let's move on. What you got for your
D? I have a feeling we may have a crossover here.
This is a crossover.
D is for Dead Reckoning. Army.
Yeah, this is both of our number one.
I could not. I mean, there's some other great D games. I have a backup plan, of course. My runner-up. But, man, this is so good. Every time, just thinking about it, I'm like, man, that was a good play. Every time. There's so much going on. You guys know I'm a sucker for the card crafting, and this uses it to good purpose in here. You're building up your crew and your ship, and what I really like about that is at a certain point every turn or every round, I think it is, you get to level up a character, so you're constantly
each one of your turns.
Each one of your turns. So what's nice about that is you're never gonna stagnate. Even if you're not buying cards right away, you're still gonna grow your deck into something a little bit stronger each time. And it's so much fun. You have so much to explore, and there's fighting, and the fighting is really fun, and it's got a cube tower for the fighting, which is insanely awesome. I'm like, it's gimmicky heaven for me. And it's piratey themed, and
What she said.
Anything, I was gonna say, you can't possibly add to this.
I can. This destroys Mystic Veil. Crush, 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 crush.
Fair. If I'm feeling like I want to play a deck game, that is really fun, but...
Crush, crush, crush.
Yeah, I mean, overall...
Dead Reckoning is my favorite game of last year, and when we redo our 2022 list, I got a feeling it might still be up top.
Oh, yeah.
So
I got a pretty strong feeling it will be.
What's your alternate?
Plan? My alternate for this, I think you will probably agree, is a goodie as well. A strong contender, Dominations. Oh, man. We played this recently with all of the expansions and then decided that, you know what? The base game, solid on its own. You don't need to mess with anything else.
Yeah, we axed all the expansions.
We did. This is such a good game. It reminds me of little Tostitos or Doritos or something, because you have all these little triangle pieces and you're laying them out and you're making your city with them. They look like chips. But you're matching the corners. They have different colors on the corners. You match them up and you get cool things and you get resources, and you use those resources to play with a tech tree. Do you detect a theme here? I love the tech trees. And so you're doing all of that, and those tech trees and things build you up with victory points and stuff. But you also have a little side puzzle you're doing off to the side with the things that you're buying with your resources. Oh my goodness. It's like a mini game going on next to the big game. So much fun. I really like this one.
It's a good one.
It'll melt your brain.
I'm glad we tried the expansions, but I'm also glad we're getting rid of them.
Yeah, because this is just really good the way it is. It's distracting.
Yep. All right, let's move on. What am I pushing? This one.
I don't know. E. E is for one of my new faves, Earth. I'm pretty sure this is going to end up in my top hundo when I remake that.
This might make my top 100s.
Oh man, it's beautiful. I mean, look at this. Does this not make you want to go travel to one of these 10 million like destinations? Yes. So it's got beautiful cards. It's got a really neat, like, kind of tile placement, tableau placement going on with it. And there's victory points based off of how you put things where. And you got engine builders and special things you can do when certain things go off. And each card is uniquely beautiful. And wow, I mean, even if you're stumped and you're not sure what to do, you can just stare at one of your cards while you're waiting on somebody and you're fine. You're perfectly happy with that. I don't know. This one's like a de-stressor game. I don't care how brain melty it may feel. It's
rare we
gorgeous.
play a game twice in a row, and we played this one twice in a row.
And it's a 90-minute game. It's not like we were like playing a 30-minute game or something. We're like, let's play this again.
It's a good one.
Ridiculous.
Curious where it's going to land in my top 100. If it'll make my top 100. Where it'll land. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll just play it again right before.
My E is Endless Winter.
Oh, another monster box. Look at this thing. Come on, people.
This is average size box nowadays. Kickstarter, anyway.
Yeah, average Kickstarter.
Endless Winter. This one, we gotta get this one played again.
Yes.
We played this a couple of times. Played it just us, and we played it with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
We need to play it again because I like it. It's a good one. We haven't played any of the expansions yet, but the base game alone is amazing. Production's off the charts. I mean, it is the Kickstarter version, but still, the production's off the charts.
Better be.
It's got some area control on a map. It's got some worker placement. It's got leveling up your skills to make them more powerful, which I enjoy. It's just a really solid Euro. And if you like a little area control mixed in with your Euro game, this is a really, really good one. I don't know what else to say. I think this is my second favorite game from last year. Maybe.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Maybe. But anyway,
because
Endless Winter.
Super good.
Paleo Americans.
Alrighty, my backup. My honorable mention for this one is my favorite Ryan Lockett game, and that is Empires of the Void. This is probably the prettiest space game we have. I love this one. It's gorgeous. This is another one I could just stare at.
Better than the kitty cats?
For space?
Yes. Twilight Imperium kitty cats?
No, this one's prettier to look at. Sorry, kitty cats. This one's prettier to look at. But
this is my alternate if I had to pick one.
Oh man, it's this nice 4X space game with that gorgeous art that again is kind of like Earth. Well, I'm like, if I'm waiting on somebody's turn, I'll be like, let me stare at my planet. It's just really cool. I love the exploration. I love how the game flow works. I like how the turns work. It just makes sense, and I like I don't know. I just like the way this one plays. I like the way just about everything works in this game. I can't think of anything. Yeah, even the fighting stuff, I don't mind. Which
it's got that follow. You mentioned it has the follow leader mechanism where one person takes a turn, they follow.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. I like that because it feels like, you have something invested with everybody's turn.
Right.
Not just the fact that you want to make sure they're not attacking you or something, but whatever he chooses, I get to do something too. And so I'm constantly going to be working on my stuff as well as paying attention to what
in my top 100,
doing.
this and Endless Winter are next to each other.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I totally believe
they're
it.
really close. Really close.
It's really good. It's really good.
All right, let's move on.
So good.
I push the buttons here. It's F.
This one kind of has dropped off for people for a while, and I feel like it needs a little more love. I love this game. I shouldn't. Because usually bidding games, blah. This has a bidding system that is so much fun to play. And I think the reason why is you have bidding chips. They are not used for anything but for bidding. You don't lose them. You don't gain them. They're just there. And so you can bid with impunity on the stuff that you want. You're making a choice. What's cool about it, too, is they're of varying sizes. It's like 1 through 4, I think. And if you really want something, you're going to put that 4 chip on there because no one else can bid a 4 on that. You're probably going to get that card. You're going to get it. But if you bid on a chip and you don't win it, you get to do the perk that's on the card. So you might purposely underbid somebody just so you can do the cool action or whatever that's on the card. And then that's just the bidding part at the very beginning of your round. And then after that, you're taking your cards and you're making a little engine. And you're producing all the things and doing the stuff and just building this. It's a puzzly efficiency, resource management delight. Absolutely love this game. And I don't think it gets enough love these days. I have not seen as many people playing it. It's 30 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, I got tons of buds right off the bat, and then you don't really hear about it too much.
Yeah, and it's really good. Really good. Don't let
That's the way it is with most board games these days. Very few last more than a year. And buzz. And
this deserves more than the flash in the pan because I really feel like this has some stay power. It doesn't look exciting, but man, the bidding and stuff in that.
He looks quite dapper.
He does look dapper, but that tells you nothing about the game. In fact, it looks dirty and grungy and industrial agey, and you're like, ugh. But it's so much fun. This could be any theme almost, too, really.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
I love me some furnace.
My F is food chain magnate.
That is so much. This is so you, and it's a fun game.
Food chain magnate. Love me some Splatter games, and this is one of my faves. And
this is a good one.
It's brutal. It's long. It's mean.
Good.
It's exciting. It's interesting. It's really every turn is just so important.
Yeah,
I can't stress that enough. Every
efficiency.
turn is so important.
Peak efficiency.
So a good chunk of your, I guess, getting new skills and powers comes from getting achievements in this game. So if you achieve something, you get a superpower. The trick is you only get, if someone makes an achievement, that achievement's off the board unless you also make it on the same round that they do.
Right.
So you have to kind of keep your ideas like, oh, Rebecca's making hamburgers.
Yeah.
I better make hamburgers. Or she's going to get the hamburger achievement. Or wait, maybe I'll make hot dogs instead. I'll get the hot dog achievement.
Right.
So it's kind of a follow your leader kind of thing, or you do something different to try to grab up some powers. But you're basically building a corporate structure. It sounds boring, but it's exciting. So you build a corporate structure. You have your managers and your staff people and your marketing and your advertising and your cooking food and your location of your restaurant is so important to the people. Like this people over here want some hamburgers, but Rebecca's closer, so they're going to buy from her first. It's such a good game. I love it.
It's a good pick.
I love this game.
Good pick.
What sells it, though, is the back of the box.
If you want a shirt box, look no further.
All right, what's your alternate?
My alternate has been mentioned in the chat, and for obvious reason, and it's the delightful Flamecraft. Yes, the art will just sell it. This is another one that you could sit there and stare at the art, and you'd be like, huh? Oh, it's my turn. Oh, okay. Everything's beautiful in this. It's a welcoming weight, maybe welcoming plus weight game. You're walking around the shops, and you're going to try to have the little dragons helping you make different things. They're so ridiculously cute. We have the Kickstarter craziness. So
there's not too much difference between them.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, this game is so pretty. I don't think you need any extra fluff. It's just one of those that it's beautiful. And it's just fun. Nessa really loved this one, and we travel around, and go to the shops and do the different things. And everybody just kind of falls in love with it. I still have a couple bookmarks and the little postcard thingies, I have a couple that I give to students for prizes because we just, oh my gosh, everybody's in love with this art. It's really, really cute.
Yeah, this one's a bit light for my taste. I still enjoy it though. But what I really like about it, what I personally like about it, is the fact that you start off with a bunch of generic worker placement spots.
Yeah,
and you add dragons and make them more and more powerful, and you get benefits for doing that. And eventually you open up even more worker placement spots, and you can build those up. So there's lots of different ways. Lots of different ways to score points, and there's like little contracts and things you can fulfill. It's a solid game.
Show all of the box packs.
Well, I tell you how it works. If it's a square box, you got a 1 in 4 chance of the back being right. If it's a rectangle box, you have a 50-50.
Womp womp.
All right. That was your alternate, right?
That was my alternate.
All right, let's move on to this one. G.
G is for genotype.
Oh my gosh.
Little science for everybody. This is Punnett Square, the game. Actually, it's just based off of very basic Punnett squares, but it's like worker placement, resource management, or genetic management. You're trying to breed the correct plants and get the right things so that you can fulfill basically contracts and get victory points and stuff, and you can get extra gardener people to help you, and you get to place your workers and do, it's another one of those worker placement. I really love how the turns flow. You can manipulate the genes a little bit with extra abilities, and trying to remember what else you can do. Oh, the dice. There's the dicey bits, because it's like gene dice. You roll the dice.
Right.
I mean, which, when everybody talks about genes, I thought there was lots of really good little touches like that in the game. You roll the genetic dice and find out what's coming up this turn, and have to react accordingly to try to collect the right things you need for your, like I said, contracts and whatnot. And I love this one. You could spend a lot of time spend some of your resources. They're pretty precious, but you can go and get like extra scientists to help you, and they give you some really cool abilities to get stuff the way you want, or maybe they tweak a gene or something weird. And there's extra tools and stuff. The way you choose the genes, it's a really cool little system, because again, it's off of the worker placement, but there's like a first in line sort of deal. You can be first and you get a little extra perk. But if you're second, you're obviously going to get the second dice and not a perk. And so, it's just little things like that I really enjoy about the game. It's got a really cool streamlined board, so you can just kind of follow the flow of the board and know exactly how the turn's going to go, or the round, I should say. It's really neat. I really like this game a lot. It plays pretty smoothly.
45.
Yeah, 45 to 75 minutes, 2-player, 45. We crack through it pretty fast.
My G
Greatness.
is still in shrink, because we've only played this at conventions.
That's true.
Or someone else's copy.
Oh, that's true.
That is the Great Zimbabwe. Another splatter. Back-to-back splatters.
That is interesting.
Back-to-back splatters. So, Great Zimbabwe, this is how to describe this? It's hard to describe. It's a splatter game. So basically, you're building trading posts out,
this is the trading post
you're using resources to build. Basically, you're building. I think they're called ziggurats. I don't know what they call them in Africa, but anyway, they're pyramids basically.
They kind of look like
you're building different levels of pyramid, and that gives you more trading power. You are probably the most unique thing about this game is it's a race to get a certain number of victory points. I think you start out with 30, but take superpowers, and it adds to your victory points. So I get this amazing superpower that gives me lots of benefits, but now I got to score 36 to win. Or maybe I take a crappy superpower and I only need 28 points to win.
Yeah, I think I went that route. Because I was like terrified to add to my total. I was like,
you set prices for your goods. So basically, say Rebecca needs to get pottery. I have a pottery maker person, and she needs to buy pottery from me. I can set the price, and it's not easy necessarily to change your price up or down. So you kind of like, do I want to set it really high? Oh, I don't know if I want to do that, because I actually want to sell and make some money. So it's a cool little game. It's like most of the splatter games, the rule book is really short, but the game is super deep and lots of hard choices and lots of decision making. This one plays fairly quickly for a splatter game. This is an hour and a half or so, depending on the number of players.
Yeah, this one was quicker. You're right. Boy, it's been a while since we played it.
But I like it. Someday I'll get it out of shrink.
Yep.
We'll actually play my copy instead of playing it at the conventions. So it's a good one. I wouldn't say... I don't know if I would make this the first splatter that you play. They're all really tough. They're really heavy. But they're really thematic. One thing that splatter does is the mechanisms make a lot of sense. And they're, like I said, fairly easy to teach, but deep game. Great Zimbabwe. The Great Zimbabwe.
The Great.
Which doesn't count in English language.
I was like, wait a minute. Does it or doesn't it?
Does not count.
All right.
Ask any librarian. The and A doesn't exist.
Don't do that. So my alternate is the heavy Gaia Project.
You picked, what did you pick? Genotype over Gaia Project?
Mm-hmm.
Gaia Project is your favorite game. One of your favorite games.
It is one of my favorite games, but it gets a little more buzz, I think, than Genotype.
Oh, man.
Gaia Project.
Very
I still love this
confusing.
game. I told you, I didn't say this was like my all-time just favorites, because then I would have just picked them off my list.
That's what you did.
I know, and I explained I wanted to add a little more conversation to this, sir.
Oh.
So yeah, of course, Gaia Project. See, Trogdor knows. So
This is like your number 2 game all time.
I still love this one. This is
I'm very confused.
another one of those space games, and it's very much involved with the tech tree. But unlike Beyond the Sun, this one is heavy. There's a lot going on. You do need the tech tree is very much enmeshed with the board. The board is much more important in this game than Beyond the Sun. You're moving around and doing stuff. In order to do so, though, you are going to have to level up certain things. And depending on what species you are, certain types of planets are easier for you to settle on than others. And so you may want to balance out, do I want to be able to travel faster so that I can like settle a whole bunch of areas, or do I want to bolster something else that produces resources? You know, there's so many different paths that you can do to build up your civilization. There's not any one correct answer to that, which is really cool. And I love the like puzzling out what it's going to do. The way they build out the little galaxy, of course, is unique. So the planets are all going to be set up differently every time. You know, there's all these different things that come into play. So you're never playing the same game twice. And I really, really enjoy that about the game. We've discussed this before. The only thing that might cause this eventually to go down for me, I know you kind of get tired of it, is the
mana pool thing.
The mana pool mechanism.
Energy,
with this.
whatever they call it in this game.
In this one, yeah, it's
energy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, something energy. It has a name though. But you have to put it into an empty pool and then charge it up, and it has to get all the way to you have to get them all the way to the end before you can use them. You can't it's kind of a nitpicky thing that feels unnecessary. Like, it feels like there should be a more streamlined way to use that mechanism, but I think they just wanted to put a space theme on Terra Mystica, and they did a nice job, because, I mean, this blows Terra Mystica out of the water, in my opinion. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
Look at over the end of the shelf. Why isn't that on there?
What? Which game?
Next to Automania.
Gutenberg? Yeah, that too. Gutenberg's a doozy. That's true. I don't know. It was hard to pick these. I'm going to be truthful. It was really hard to pick these. Again, some of these had to be the want to play right now factor came into play a little bit. Because, see, like, Corlu's listing some goodies. Like, seriously, you guys are throwing out those that you're like, I have my favorite and my backup and my, I got a list of top 10 easily for each of these. It's so...
Except for Jay.
Was it Jay, the one that we had like very few? Yeah.
All right, let's move on to whatever this is.
It's fun.
H, right?
Yeah, it's H. This one still gets some buzz. It's starting to quiet down a little bit, and it shouldn't, because it's Hadrian's Wall. And if you are one of those roll and write peeps, or even if you're not, this is a nice, meaty little game, and pretty beefy in weight, too. This little box is chock full of paper, ready for you to do. It's 2 pages worth of roll and write magic as you're trying to build up Hadrian's Wall and reinforce it, because at the end of every round, barbarians attack. And do you have the right parts of the walls defended sufficiently so that when they attack, that you are able to defend? Well, in the meantime, the rest of the game is all about building up your resources and having things chain off of each other to build up not only your wall and your soldiers and stuff, but victory points. It's glorious. Love this game.
One of the only
Love
a couple rolling rights I'll actually play.
Yeah. That tells you something.
Because it's got resource management. It's got other stuff going on.
Oh, it does. Well, and it's great, too, because it has the... what I like, too, is it's got all these bits.
Got a note here.
We have all the little people of different colors, and they all have different abilities, so you keep track of those. And so we just chuck them in the box lid and rummage around for what we need during the turn, because you're constantly turning them in for other things and doing stuff. It's really, really awesome. We will never go through all the pages. Quoted Hunter, circa 2022. Yeah, because I mentioned, we should
laminate them.
I said, hey, we should laminate some of these so that we have, don't run out, whatever. And Hunter says, we will never go through all the pages. So I'm like, I'm going to quote you on that. So my new goal is to marathon this. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, my H is another giant box. Apparently, it's a trend. Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. I don't know what else to say. It's amazing.
This one's really neat because it's so unique. Like the board, you put everything down and you have like your own map for your faction. And I really liked because I did, was it mermaids or something?
It had water.
And it put a layer of water on it. But if you don't have like the boat ability, other people can't travel through my land at all. Meanwhile, my people are like, water! And they can like shinny all over the map and it was water! And it is really cool how asymmetrical the factions are in this game. Really neat.
Yeah, I love it. It reminds me of a RTS, a real-time strategy game like Warcraft or one of the StarCraft, one of those games. Because you start out, you got a little building, a few dudes, and they go out and they build they start farming resources, and you upgrade your guys and get ships and boats and all sorts of airships and all sorts of fun stuff.
I love them. They look so
You get superpowers. You build towers. You're eventually you run out of land. And you start beating heads with each other and clashing and taking over areas. And there's exploration chits that you can find that give you benefits, or maybe you have to fight somebody. Who knows? It depends. I have like 10 different factions. It plays up to 8 players. I think it's 8 players. This one says 7-player expansion. I think it might go 8 players. I can't remember. I don't remember. But anyway,
7 or 8.
Plays a ton of players.
That's a lot.
It's can be a long game. The more players you get, it plays. We played it 2 and 3, and it both worked. 2 is kind of 3 is good. 4 is really, really good.
Yeah.
That may be the sweet spot, but I'd love to play an epic game with off the full player count. That'd be fun. Anyway.
Yes, indeed.
Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea.
Woo! Lovely. All right, my next one, my little honorable mention is Honey Buzz. This one is another one that got a lot of hype and hoopla when it first came out and then just kind of faded into obscurity. I think because there's a lot of these kind of polyomino fit pieces together games that came out around the same time. But the nature theme of this and the little pieces and bits for this are fantastic. The puzzle for this game is great. You're building up the little honeycomb in certain patterns, and as you fill out an area, then you get to put like different little pollens, and you get to collect those and stuff, and they're all victory points, and you turn them in for like fulfill like a contract kind of thing and get victory points and all that kind of good stuff. But it's interesting because there's also kind of a market price for trading the
bit of a stock market.
Nectar. Yeah, there's a little baby stock market for the nectar and stuff. There's a whole strategy to the turns and how you place your honeycomb pieces and whatnot, because you might want to kind of chain a bunch of different things, because once you do that, it like fires off a whole bunch of them again when you complete it. We have like the crazy Kickstarter version or whatever.
There's not too much difference,
but the little pieces for the nectar and different things like that.
Rubber pieces.
They're little, like rubbery. They have a really neat tactile feel to them, and they're all a little bit different and different colors. The cardboard, everything, like the whole production value for this in general is just really, really nice. And it's another fun nature game that belies how much weight there is to this. There's quite a bit of puzzly goodness in this one, especially with the stock market and all this other stuff going on. You can really get completely immersed in this one and dive into this puzzle. It's one of those you can make it as competitive as you want, right? You can kind of hole in and just focus on your stuff, or you can get competitive and really race hard with your other players, and I like that about this game. Honey Buzz.
Good one. All right.
It's a good one.
Let's move on.
It's a good one.
To this one.
I almost put it under C.
Oh, geez.
Istanbul. We talked about this one fairly recently.
This was in our places game.
Yes,
Top
locations. And I think it bears mentioning again because this one is an older game, and have they reprinted this one or anything?
There's a big box.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Nah, you don't need all that.
Yeah, you do.
That's a good point.
We basically have the equivalent. We basically have the
That's
equivalent of the big
true,
box.
we do. You're right. But the base game's awesome. Let's be real. The base game for this is awesome. You don't need to get the other stuff, but if you really love this game and played it a lot, like we did for quite a while, still kind of do, but the expansions for this are really, really good. Istanbul, you're laying out tiles and you have a unique set, like board layout of tiles every game, unless you just like to pick the same one every time. And you move around, and the movement for this is really funky. You kind of have a footprint. You have to make tracks, and if you step onto the same area as somebody else, you have to pay them. So you're really thoughtful about where you want to move in this game, but it's also an efficiency puzzle because you're trying to be the first one to collect enough rubies to win the game. And that each tile has different ways that you can win the rubies or earn the rubies or whatever. Some of them you have to collect a certain amount of goods and then trade them in, or you have to win a certain amount in the gambling house, or you have to, pay a certain amount of X, Y, and Z to do this. It's really cool. I like all the different puzzly bits. Some of them, it's like a pick up and deliver sort of thing. You have to find, and sometimes they're really close together on the board. Sometimes they're not. So you have to plan and map out, well, is this the most efficient way to go? Oh no, Hunter just stepped in my path. I'd have to pay him a tax to use that one. So backup plan. It's just, I love the think on your feet mentality you have to have with this game. Strategy, but have a backup plan. So much fun.
Nice. Good one.
Tis a good one.
All right, my next one is one of the only one on my list that I do not own.
Oh, okay.
So we've got Food Chain Magnate.
Okay. Oh.
The Great Zimbabwe.
Yes, and
we'll skip. We got Heroes that came that like flew an airship in between.
Right.
And then we have. I'm trying to. I'm spoiling my thing.
I thought you were gonna bring it up. I was like,
aha! Indonesia. So I don't actually own this one because this one does not play 2 players. So I did not purchase it. I did not make the same mistake as Horseless Carriage on this one.
Oh my gosh, poor sad Hunter.
So Indonesia is another big splatter game. It's you're basically a investor, I guess, in Indonesian companies. So you're basically buying companies. You can buy shipping companies. You can buy production companies, and you're shipping goods back and forth. And there's a whole rule on the closest ones to the city ship, and the ships can only deliver so many goods. And there's mergers and trading and all sorts of craziness going on. Kind of a mean game. So all the splatters, almost without fail, can be kind of mean. This one, wow, it's just. Every turn is just crazy important. You're watching what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
People can merge 2 companies that didn't even. There are 2 companies that can cause a merger to happen, and it's kind of math the game because there's a lot of stock market buying, trading, and bidding. When a company merges, you're bidding so much per share to buy the merged company. It's a heavy game. It's maybe one of the heaviest of the games. What's funny is the Indonesia rules are 5 pages, 6 pages.
Yeah, long. That blows my mind. That blows my mind.
Just crazy.
It's wild. This one, I don't like it as much, but it's way meaner.
It is mean. It is very sudden too. Yeah,
it's very brutal and sudden, and it's just like, I worked really hard. And, wait, what?
Right.
You did what to my company?
Right.
You weren't even. It's like, what? Yeah, I'd probably flip the table. I don't play this one as often. It's a good thing you have friends to play this with because it's a little mean for me. I'd be like, God, I hope you enjoyed the game. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, pretty close.
Now I'm sad face.
Oh, but my backup plan.
You
guys actually mentioned a bunch. I should have probably mentioned It's a Wonderful World because that one is one that does not get enough love either. But I chose Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North.
Bit of a cheat. I call it an E.
Imperial Settlers. This is the name of the game, sir. Imperial Settlers. You could just say Imperial Settlers, but I like this version by far more. They streamlined the game a tad. The factions are really cool, and the asymmetrical powers are a little more fun. They're very similar, though. They have the unique clans, and you're going through, and you have your little areas, and you're trying to build up resources, and it's like I don't want to say Civ building, because that gives it more credit. It's a little more simplistic than that. It's more like a resource engine builder.
Yeah, it is an engine building game. For sure.
with a thinly veiled race faction on top of that, but it's really more of an engine building, a civilization. But it plays really fast. It's really fun. 2-player, 45 minutes. It's another one of those, a lot of meat to the box. This one is not mean. So maybe that's part of it.
There's a mean faction.
I mean, there is a mean faction. There are some a little bit of attacky bits, but it's very... It's not nearly as brutal. We don't tend to play it with the brutal one, but I suppose depending on how much you like people blowing up stuff.
Everybody's saying that there's a big giant E. There he is, but there's a little tiny I right there.
Yeah, it's I was gonna say it says Imperial Settlers, and if you go to look up the title, it's Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North. So there.
That was your alternate?
That was my alternate.
All right, let's move
We're moving on
to the one that I had to go down into my 200s, top 200s plus.
Oh no, you must hate this game.
No. It's in one of my top 200. I've played a couple of thousand games at least, so still in my top 10% of games.
Calm yourself, sir.
My favorite, one of my favorite, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, one of my favorite. It's kind of my go-to end of the night, need something to play to kind of wind down game, and that is just one. Just one.
This one is always fun.
Yeah, this one always just cracks me up because you have one. Basically, the way it works is you have there's a person who's it, and they're trying to guess a word, and everyone else is given a clue, a one-word clue to that word. And the way it works is everyone secretly writes their one-word clue. Then everyone compares the clues, and any duplicates are removed. So it's funny because you'll have one round where, let's say you're playing a 7-player game, one person will have 6 clues, and the next person has one clue.
It's fantastic.
And sometimes the people go a little kind of too extreme, off the rails, so they won't be duplicated, and you're like...
And then you're going through...
And then that's the only one you have, and it's some random thing, you're like...
Oh, that's my favorite.
It cracks me up.
My favorite is when it blows up in your face and everyone picks duplicates, except for, like you said, the rando oddball clue.
I think we've had one where it had no clues.
Yes, we have had that happen.
No clues.
Yeah, that was fun. We're like, good luck.
So, this is a fun one. It's supposedly cooperative. Basically, you're supposed to get work as a team, and you're supposed to... Every card you get right is a point, and then you get a certain number of points. You're rated on a scale from... You're horrible to you're awesome, depending on how many cards you get.
You skipped me.
No?
I'm affronted.
Oh, I did skip you.
You did.
I jumped right in. I was so excited.
I'll just talk 2 in a row. I know, because you love just one.
I hate this game.
Interesting.
I did jump the gun. No one said anything.
No one said anything. It's okay. We're used to you. Usually you go first. Smack. This little darling.
We played this one to death.
We played this one to death, and I love it. I love to teach this one to people. It's a great little go-to 2-player game. Jaipur. I think it's only 2-player, right? Is it only?
Yes.
Yeah, 2-player only. I was like, we've only played a 2-player. And you have different resources, and they're in coin format, and you have them like they have a high value, and they get lesser in value as the more you grab of them. And you use your cards, and you have to turn in cards, but the more cards you turn in, the more coins you get to pick up with your victory points and stuff on them. So it's kind of a game of chicken with the other person trying to turn those things in, because you want to get more of those, but if they beat you to it, they're going to get the higher point chips. So I love this game. It's super fast. I think, 30 minutes max. It's so fast. Fun little game.
It was one of our go-tos, played all the time.
Oh my gosh,
for years, and
so
now
much.
we haven't played that game for like 5 years, I'm guessing.
Well, not together. I think I've played it with like Gaming Wife and...
What's your other J? Apparently I jumped you.
Yeah, you did. I think I saw this one mentioned in the chat, and that is Jamaica. This one's a classic. And piratey as well. This is a fun pirate racing game. The piratey bit is a little bit like, at first you're like, is it a pirate game? It's a racing game. Oh yes, it's a pirate game, because off to the side on the racetrack, you can get distracted by treasure chests just sitting there on the beach. And you go and pick those up, and now you have treasure on your ship. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Hunter appears, and he's like, I'm going to fire cannons at you, and he shoots me, and then he steals my treasure. And now the race is on. Now I have to catch up to him. It is so much fun. I love this one. And sometimes, yes, if you have a lot of players, it will stall out, because all of a sudden people stop and everybody's fighting back and forth. I kind of like that. The other thing that I noticed has been kind of divisive. People either love it or hate it. This has an expansion with the crew members. It can lengthen the game significantly, but the crew powers are fun. I really like the expansion with this. I think the last couple times we played it, we didn't play with it because we had a huge player count. But with the smaller player counts, it's fun to have the extra stuff to play with. So
I have two comments to make.
What?
One, this may have one of the worst rule books in board gaming.
I'm sorry.
And this is not in the fact that it's written poorly. It's the fact that...
Oh, that's right. The format of the... Yes. I remember... Who does this? Why? What is this? Why? Why do you need a map? This is crazy. It's not a rule book.
You literally have to lay this out.
Rule book, people. Book.
That's the rule. That's the rules of the game. Anyway, so that's comment number one. Comment number two. It's like the old school maps where you don't know how to fold them. Fix that. Hey, comment number two. Where's Juicy Fruits?
I thought about Juicy Fruits, but I think
Fold it
it's
half
still...
first. That's what I did wrong.
Hold up. I'm checking that because I don't... Do you want to do this or do you want me to do it?
Where's Juicy Fruits?
Juicy Fruits on the shelf over there. Can I help you?
Why isn't it on your list?
It would have been my 3. I just, we haven't played Jamaica in a while and it needs some love.
And what's funny, they doubled down and did another goofy book for the expansion.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment.
All right, that's Jay.
That's Jay.
All right, let's move on. I'll let you go first this time.
Oh, really? Hunter loves this game.
It's all right.
No, he doesn't love this game. Keyforge.
It's all right.
I only got the first couple sets. I don't know if I think there's been expansions or more released afterwards. I kind of fell out of the loop because I don't have anybody to play this with regularly, really, because Hunter is tolerant of it. But
it's okay.
Yeah, I know.
It's just okay.
It's not your kind of game. I really like deck builder games.
I played Magic for years and years, and I'm burned out on the me versus you Magic style games.
That's fair. I totally get that.
Do anything. I've got my lifetime fill of those.
No, that's fair. I did not play with the Magic crowd. I played like Legend of the Five Rings and some other games like that for a long time. And so I don't know, I didn't get burnt out on that. So I really like Keyforge. I like the really goofy names of the decks and stuff. That really cracked me up at first. When they first came out, they had like an AI bot create the names, but they didn't filter out some things. So some of the titles were a little sketchy. So of course I went shopping to try to find some of them because I thought that was hilarious. I've got some weird ones. I've got a couple weird ones. A couple with Hunter's name in it, which really cracked me up. But I really enjoy this because you're going through and you have to forge keys and you have to be the first one to forge all of the keys and you have to do certain things to do that, of course. It's a typical card deck kind of game. And I don't know, I really enjoy this one a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. Something to do. I like the fact that you have the different decks and they have the different factions and you do, when you're using a faction, you can use all of the cards with that faction that you have in your hand and whatnot. It's got some kind of slightly tweaked rules to the typical card game like this. But it's fun. It's pretty fast. And I have a bunch of decks so that if anybody ever played, wanted to play, it's not like you have to bring your own or something. I have a bunch and you just pick which one the title sounds interesting to you or whatever. I think they're fun. And that's Keyforge.
Well, Serta finally made an appearance on my list.
Oh.
Kanban.
We've
got the driver's edition, which is the second one. I think there was a Kanban, then the driver's edition. Now there's Kanban EV, which is the fancy Eagle Griffin version of the game. But pick your poison.
Right.
This is one of our, probably in the bottom tier of our favorite Lacerda games. That's why we never got the Eagle Griffin fancy version of this game. This one's just fine. You're basically working in an auto company or designing cars. You got an evil manager that wanders around yelling at you if you're not doing your job proproperly.
Dang those managers.
There's resource management. There's contract fulfillment. There's all sorts of stuff going on.
Right.
It's kind of weird that you work in the same company, but you both get points in different ways and things like that. It's an awesome game. It's one of my favorite but not one of my favorite Certus. Just I love it as a Certus, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good one. It's
yeah, I think this one's kind of a bear to explain to teach too, because each area has a different way that you're.
It's a bunch it's a lot like Trajan in a sense, so that each little department is a little different little mini game going on, and you're working in one department each round or turn or whatever. And it's. I would not suggest this for first, second, or third Lacerda game, but it's good. If you like the other ones, you might try this one.
Yeah,
you'll probably like this one as well. Kanban.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
EV is the fancy Griffin, and I think that's the only version you can get right now. It's the EV version.
Sounds about right. My backup is the exact opposite of Hunter's game. This is not heavy. It's really goofy, and that's Kung Fu Zoo.
Kung Fu Zoo.
This is a great family game. Oh my gosh. So there's different animals. The dice are your animals, and they each have their own special ability, and the box basically is the ring, and so you put the little animals up on the corner and you're flicking them. It's kind of like a game of pool, but you have animals, and the way they land, if it's like their feet or something, they land on their feet or whatever, you get to move. They all have different abilities. So like here's the zebras, and you get points based off of how they land, or you could do the cage battle version. And, again, you're knocking them in here, and see, like Hunter, you can flick them a certain way, and you're just duking it out with people. It is such a cute, fun game. And I don't know, the kids and adults love to play this one, and it's just fun. There's what, 2-3 different animals?
Four, I believe.
Four different animals. They have special abilities. Really,
based on what side of the die you land on.
Yeah, and again, based off of the side of the die. Sometimes you can get basically like attack again or something like that.
Fixed it.
But yeah, family favorite. It's cute.
All right,
Kung Fu Zoo.
Let's move on. I gotta push the buttons. 2 left to go. Up to L.
Oh man. It's time for Lorenzo Il Magnifico. I haven't played this one we played it fairly recently.
Yeah, we played it within the last 6 months, probably.
Yeah, this is another one of those that came out a while ago. 2016, it says. Boy, it seems like it was even earlier than that. And this needs to get more love. This is such a solid game. You've got different columns with different resources, and it's like kind of a weird worker dice placement game. In fact, this may be one of the first dice placement kind of thingies we played.
No, it would have been Alien Frontiers.
Oh, that's right, Alien Frontiers. Well, this is the second. But depending on where you want to go up the column, they get more expensive. So you need a higher number of dice and or extra dice things that you have to pay for. And you get cooler cards and different abilities and stuff. And you're building like on your own player board. You're building 2 different sets of like engines that give you some victory points and also kind of churn out a little engine of producing stuff that should help you get better victory points. Okay. So you're working on that. But if, say, I go to column number 1 and put something down and get a card, Hunter goes there, he's going to pay a crazy penalty for going to the same column. So typically you want to avoid everyone as much as possible doing that. Meanwhile, there's victory point tracks and like is it military track or something? You have a special strength track. Right. So you have to build up some military force, and you have to keep it a certain height to be able to accomplish certain things. There's like just so much going on with this, and then meanwhile you're trying to make this engine something worthwhile that you want to fire off more and more as the game progresses to build up your engine to get all those things and churn out the victory points. I love this one. It's pretty heavy, but it is very smooth, and it says 60 minutes.
For 2 players.
For 2 players, yeah, it's an hour game. That's not too bad, and it's very meaty for what you're doing. Love it.
All right, your alternate is my number 1.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Blizzard Wizard.
It is so good.
Yeah, this is a good one. I really, when Raccoon Tycoon came out, I played it at the Dice Tower Retreat, and I fell in love with it immediately.
Love that game.
And when I heard that this was coming out, I was kind of hesitant at first, but I heard that it adds some things to the game, and it does. It's a little meatier, a little more going on.
Yeah.
It has pressure luck. You can do some dungeon delving and do some pressure luck, which I really love pressure luck games. So that adds a extra little mechanism that I enjoy. Otherwise, it's very, very similar to Raccoon Tycoon. They just kind of trade some things around. Instead of having buildings in Raccoon Tycoon, you have spells or scrolls or something in this.
And you have the wizard towers instead of the railroad, and it's really cool.
But the main driver of this game is kind of a stock market style game. Basically, really more of a supply and demand. Basically, as you resources go up in value, and then you sell and they drop in value. So very much like a lot of stock market games, is you have stock, but when you sell them, the price decreases. It kind of teaches you that mechanism.
Right.
Set collection, engine building, kind of with the scrolls. You got some pressure luck and all sorts of resource management. It's got a lot of good mechanisms going on that fits together in a nice little package. The production, we have the Kickstarter. It's over the top production, awesome production.
I was just going to say that both Raccoon Tycoon and Lizard Wizard, the art and the production are just sky high.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I love this game. It's one of my favorites. There you go. Lizard Wizard.
Can't beat that.
On to the last letter.
The last letter. Oh, man. This game... I've been kind of on a deck games kick, and this is like the quintessential deck games. As I do all the weightlifting. Millennium Blades. This game, so much fun. If you like deck building and enjoy that aspect of building up your deck, buying the cards, switching and trading things out, and then playing them in a tournament, this has everything of that. But you don't have to go out and spend the money on it. All the cards in the decks are here. So you set up the game, and which that part takes a little bit of time. But so Hunter sets up the game. And you go and you buy your stuff and you build up your deck, and then you trade. You can trade with people, and you can do this and that and everything. And then you play in the tournament and see how your cards do, and then you tweak your deck and do this stuff again, and you go around and around. And it's a lot of fun. Again, all of the cards are here. This thing is chock full of cards, and it's so dense. It's heavy. This is like a giant brick.
Yeah, we got
like a cement
we got
block.
about 95% of everything from Millennium Blades.
Jeez, there's more to this.
More,
That's insane. I don't think it fit in here. It is so much fun though. I didn't think. I was intrigued by it when I first heard about the like theme and what you're doing with it. And I'm like, that could be really boring, or it could be really, But if you like the like excitement of trying out new things and playing with decks and then tweaking them and all of that good stuff, this is for you. It's really fun. I think it's kind of hard to find this now though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's out of print. I really enjoyed this game. A couple things kind of push it down for me, and that is one of the biggest aspects, I guess, can be of collectible card games is the trading with friends, right? Like, I got an extra one of these. So what can you give me for this? And blah blah blah.
Right.
Like when we play, there's no trading going on whatsoever.
We didn't
None.
trade much.
Because you can't. You got it's time. There's time. So to stop and go. Okay, I have this card I don't need. What do you have? Everyone's like, I don't have time to do this. I got stuff to do. I got set collection going on, blah, blah, blah. You don't have time to go, I have an extra one of these.
That's fair.
So really, you have to really trade with the market and stuff like that. That's one thing. The other thing is the actual tournaments are kind of meh.
They're not bad.
They're kind of meh. The game you're playing, the Millennium Blades game that you're playing, basically because you're building up a deck to play in the tournaments. That game is kind of, and it's understandable. It has to be quick and sudden and very deterministic, and there's not a lot of too much strategy going on there.
True, because reasons.
And because you can't play a big giant game.
No, they try to keep it timed and stuff so that it won't take you all day to play this game.
Right.
I mean, they
so
have to.
that part of it's kind of lacking, but it'd be a 5-hour game if you actually made that part of it meaty. So.
That would be rough.
So anyway, Millennium Blade, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
But not as good.
What? Oh, that's not true. This is
as, if I can pick it up. Oh my gosh, why do I have all the big boxes?
I don't know. I've got one of them.
Merchants of the Dark
That is
Road.
really good. That's
Another one
really
of my
good.
faves from last year. Elf Creek game. We just had an Elf Creek game.
Did we? Did we?
Is it Honey Buns? No. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Anyway.
You know me. I'm
Anyway, Merchant Dark Road. This is a.
terrible with the names.
I don't even know how to describe this game. It's almost a rondelle. So you're basically you have a little wagon that's going in a little circle around town, picking up supplies, getting adventurers to go with you, getting all sorts of stuff. Eventually, you build up and you get stuff gathered up, and then you go out and deliver your goods on the Dark Road to other cities. What's cool is that other players can follow you on that delivery and kind of piggyback on your journey to the Dark Road. So not only are you building up your thing, but you're like, oh, Rebecca looks like she's going to be going to this one city. Maybe I should get a few things that I could possibly deliver to that city. When she goes, I can follow her. But then it's taking up space on my cart, and who knows when she's going to end up going. And maybe she'll change her mind and going somewhere else. But it's really I enjoy the theme of this game because it's kind of D&D-esque, but Dungeons & Dragon-esque in that you have that like traveling merchant guy. Hey, I got some wares to sell you. Well, you're that guy.
Exactly.
And you have adventurers traveling with you these cities. It's contract fulfillment, resource management, all kinds of fun stuff going on. I just like the theme of the game. I just enjoy it. It's fun. It even has a little polyomino thing going on with your little cart. So you have your little back wagon. You have a certain amount of space.
All your stuff in there.
You got like your potions and your wizard and your hats and stuff. You're fitting it in your little cart.
Jamming the wizard staff in the back.
Yeah, this is a good one. I enjoy this one quite a bit. It plays pretty quick too. For a 2-player game, plays an hour. And then
wow, it doesn't feel like it. There's so much going on in that.
Yeah.
You never guess that that's an hour-long game. That's awesome.
I didn't even go in. You got animal companions that give you superpowers.
People kind of hitchhike a ride.
All sorts of fun stuff going on.
It's a blasty blast. Well, it's funny that you said that, and somebody else in the chat mentioned this game. And it was a good letter for us, I gotta say, because my backup plan, as it were, is Merchant's Cove, which everyone was shocked that you picked Merchants of the Dark Road over Merchant's Cove.
Yes. Merchant Cove is a little bit lower on my top 100 than Merchants of the Dark Road.
Did you hear that? Maybe this needs another play. So this one is truly unique. There's not very many games out there that do this. The closest thing I can think of that it reminds me of is Sidereal Confluence.
Right.
But everybody here in Merchant's Cove, the end goal is you're all trying to sell goods to people. But how you produce those goods and get them out to the store front is going to be completely different. For example, there's one that has a, oh gosh, what's the marble game? All of a sudden my brain.
Potion Explosion.
Potion Explosion, yes. There's one that plays like a mini Potion Explosion game to produce things. There's a worker placement one. There's a kind of like roll and write sort of one with the fortune teller person.
Shaman.
Yeah, the shaman person. There's, what else is there? There's like 6 different people, mechanisms and stuff being used. And it's so cool. Each one is different and unique. I think the only thing that makes this a little bit of a detriment is because teach is going to be longer because you have to teach everyone who's doing what because everybody does something very different.
Yeah, but each one's only like a page of rules.
Yeah, they're not super complicated. What's fun is the strategy and stuff within what you want to do to be the most efficient at what you're doing. This is the Innkeeper expansion, for example. You played this one. It was pretty cool because this is the one you had
little beds and stuff like that.
It's really a cool
Basically,
game.
the gist of the game is that you're a merchant and you're producing goods. And everybody produces their goods in different ways. But then you're all selling the goods to the same
place.
So like you have different adventurers that are coming. They're going to buy different things.
Yeah, each round they have different peeps.
And you're trying to sell your goods to the proper adventurers first. So it's a cool little game. It's really interesting because there's 2 ways to go about it. I mean, you can just try different ones, but if you have a favorite mechanism, if you really like a certain mechanism, you can play that guy. I think I've played all but one at this point, and I've enjoyed all of them.
They're so much fun.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
The only one I haven't played is the Roll and Rat one for reasons. I played all the other ones.
Well, that one too. Oh man, I didn't. When I first learned how, I'm like, oh, this is easy, and you have to. She's like a little fortune teller, and you're throwing stuff onto the ground, and however they lie is like the fortune and stuff.
Right.
Well, I didn't really read that carefully. You have to do it within the little cup. And the cup's kind of small. So the first time I kind of splashed a little bit and things fell out. And it's like, oh, bad things happen if they don't land in there. And I'm like, oh, I just set myself back a little bit there. Bad fortunes coming through. Oh, man. It was so funny. So after that, you're very careful. You're telling your fortunes, trying to drop everything in there. And stuff. It was a riot. I love these games. They're really fun. And I don't know, it's fun. We kind of get into the roles and stuff and get silly with it. It's a lot of entertainment. But that is Merchant's Cove. Give it a whirl. Good times.
That's it. We are done with
Part 1.
Number through M. So 1 week from tonight, we're going to do our variety show.
Oh, we are? We're not going to go straight into the rest? Oh, it's
Should we? Should we?
Ooh,
right, should we go straight into the rest? Should we?
Should I set up a
Should
poll?
we?
What do you guys think?
All right, our chat, the first 3 votes will decide.
Okay.
Which one do we do straight into the top?
Alphabet? Yeah, alphabet or variety show?
Our variety show next week.
Next week.
Skip a week.
Okay.
That's 1 vote.
Skip a week.
Need more votes. Skip.
Skip. Uh-oh.
Oh, Skip
2-1,
wins.
2-1.
So we're going to stick to the original plan.
No. Skip is
The
finish
first
the
3
alphabet.
votes. Skip.
Skip, and then let's finish the alphabet.
Right. So 2 skips and 1 finish. That's the first 3 votes.
Oh, I see
Skip
what you're saying.
wins.
Oh, I thought you said
Skip
the first
wins.
3
So we'll keep with my original plan. Next week will be the variety show. We're gonna do some more tryouts. We'll call them tryouts.
Yeah.
Segment skits, whatever you want to call them, tryouts. We'll do another set of those next week.
You guys are hilarious.
And then that's May 2nd, and then May 9th, 2 weeks from that, we'll finish it up with N through Z. N through Z.
Zah! I already have my games picked out. I am so excited.
Z.
I can't wait to see what kind of variety shenanigans are happening next week, peeps.
Yeah, I think next week might be the last set before we vote.
Ooh, okay. I'm
to
excited.
see what we keep. See what we keep. New Zealand.
New Zealand. Hey, it's meant to be.
So I think we've done 6 or 9. I think we've done 6. But we'll do next week's. We'll do 3 more tryouts, and then we're going to do voting. So we'll do all the segments we currently do, plus all the new ones.
Right.
Let you guys vote on them, and we're not going to guarantee that's the ones we'll do, but we'll take that into consideration. The ones that you like. We'll let you vote for as many as you want. So there you go.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Thank you all for joining us with the alphabet. There were so many good games listed tonight.
Yeah, check out the chat. There's tons and tons of good games.
If you haven't tried these or you're intrigued by those, there's a lot more information going on in the chat. More games, more options. So much fun. All the games. Go play them. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.